I set out on this video to share my experience of what I thought was not only a curious and stunning river, but also the shortest in Britain, at least according to the River and Canal Trust. But I did not suspect it would be quite such a contentious subject. When does the shortest river in Britain cease to be the shortest? Well, apparently the internet has some conflicting answers. A quick online search points to the River Bain in North Yorkshire, measuring 4 kilometres as the shortest river. However, this often gets mixed up with being the shortest in England, and the River Cerdys, 10 kilometres, is proposed as a contender for the title due to it being more river-like. It also has a town named after it, Sidmouth. The River Bain only has a village, Bainbridge. Anyways, the River Morar, the focus of this video, not only looks like a proper river, complete with a substantial modern road bridge, an old road bridge, and a rail viaduct frequented by the Jacobite steam train as featured in the Harry Potter movies, but it also boasts an impressive waterfall and a hydropower station, although it's small 1 megawatt power station built in 1948 to supply local needs. It's now part of the national grid. The turbine house is built into a cavern. The structure to the left is a fish ladder to enable trout and salmon to spawn in Loch Morar. The River Morar, measuring 800 metres in length, is short, although not as short as Scotland's shortest river, the title for the Scaveg, which stretches only 400 metres and is located in a remote Isle of Skye glen, connecting Loch Coruisk to the sea. All this raises an interesting question. What criteria should we use to define what qualifies as a river? There is no universally accepted definition of what constitutes a river, other than a watercourse with flowing water that eventually leads to another body of water, such as the sea, another river, or lake. And it's evident that even a river starting as a small stream can still be considered a river, even if it appears to be more like a brook, especially in its early stages. In the case of the River Scaveg, which is recognised as a river, despite appearing to be simply the mouth of a loch, it raises a question about classification of other similar watercourses. For instance, in Orkney, the unnamed body of water, crossed by the Waith Bridge, for which I will call it the River Waith, flows from Loch Stennis to the sea, and may well be shorter than the Scaveg. While Loch Stennis is categorised as a sea loch, with brackish water, it's neither salty nor fresh, this should not necessarily exclude it from being considered a river. If the definition of a river only extends to that includes freshwater bodies, then the water flowing from the freshwater Loch of Harray into the Loch of Stennis could possibly be regarded as one of the world's shortest rivers. The classification may vary depending on regional interpretation, but it's an interesting perspective to consider, especially if having the title of the world's shortest river is of local importance. The Harray to Stennis River has no name, but being close to the Ness of Brodgar, it could be called the River Ness, although there's a River Ness flowing from Loch Ness, so perhaps the River McNess. I'm more than content with considering the River Morar as Britain's shortest river, measuring 800 metres. Except it's interesting to note that it almost quadruples in length at low tide, at least according to the Ordnance Survey map. Even then, at 3.2 kilometres, it is still shorter than the Bain, which is 3.85 kilometres. Nevertheless, the River Morar is undeniably a proper and stunning river that originates from Britain's deepest loch, Loch Morar, which also boasts its own monster, known as Morag. And it's a loch that's far more interesting, and I would say beautiful, than Loch Ness. Morar is over 300 metres deep, far deeper than the surrounding sea, carved out by successive glaciers, which would have made it a fjord had ice age static rebound not stepped in. The land rising up after the last ice age, lifting it up 10 metres above sea level. As the river flows out into the bay with the most pristine white sands, the beauty of this location is truly exceptional. These breathtaking beaches along this stretch of the coast have served as locations for the 1981 classic film, Local Hero, set against the backdrop of the small isles of Egg, Markham Run. It's the landscape in the film that softens the hardened oil man, but one in reality is beautifully seductive. For those with an interest for visiting record-breaking destinations, a visit to the River Morar offers the unique opportunity to explore what might be Britain's shortest river. In addition to that, you will also visit Britain's deepest lake and be rewarded with some of the most awe-inspiring landscapes in Scotland, making it a must-see destination for nature and film enthusiasts alike. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe.